Welcome to the Transform Awards ANZ 2021. I'm Andrew Thomas, the publisher of Transform Magazine and the founder of the Transform Awards. And with me, helping make this as smooth a process as possible, I've got Alletra Scrivo, senior staff writer on Transform Magazine. We're going to hear from her as she reads out the winners. Now, this is the second year for the Transform Awards ANZ. Sadly, it's also the second year where we celebrate your phenomenal work with a still in different states, in different countries, and yes, in my case, different continents. But although we are divided geographically, I am sure that I speak for all of us in saying that the transformative power of brand strategy and design has the ability to unite us all. Now, before we start dishing out tonight's awards, I just want to say to all of those watching, to all of those who entered, and actually to all of those who win tonight, thank you. Last year, I was astounded at the number of entries submitted. It was the biggest launch we'd ever held. But this year, it was even bigger. So again, a massive thank you. Now, let's get down to business. Before we reveal the winners, let me tell you a few things about the way it's going to work. First off, we don't believe in long, cynical shortlists. If your name is read out, you've already won a gold, a silver, a bronze, sometimes a highly commended. Basically, if you're watching this because you've already seen your name on the shortlist, you know you're a winner. However, as is the way in life, and some of you are more of a winner than others. Okay, how do we decide who wins what? Well, we're lucky to have a fantastic judging panel. We had 11 specialists and experts, and they had a really tough job on their hand. They ploughed their way through the submissions and they awarded points ranked against the various entry criteria of each separate category, such as creativity and innovation, research, planning, objectives, strategy and implementation. Now, it's those scores that determine the winners. But it is a scoring system. And that means sometimes we might celebrate a category with a gold and a bronze, but no silver. Or a bronze and a silver, but no gold. You see, we're mainly comparing within each category, but ultimately, we are also comparing work across the board, and we do feel a need to have a consistency. It's a complicated process, but one thing I do know is that it is a process that the judges this year took very seriously. Well, let's see who those wonderful judges were. We had Melissa Balaki for The People, Faisal Ben Abdelaziz for National Australia Bank, Vince Frost from the Frost Collective, Robin George from Tyro Payments, Fiona Love from Hakka Tourism, Mark Mansell from Meton Guitars, Scott Mullins from the Leukemia Foundation, Shelley Norton from the PwC Australia, Mitchell Parkins from GVC, Hector Shara Benitez from Christchurch, New Zealand, Delina Shields, Vodafone New Zealand, and Adele Tarnowski from the Australian Graphic Design Association. Now, we had the pleasure of working with the Australian Graphic Design Association again this year. They are a fantastic organisation. And if you're from Australia and not a member, well, it's about time you thought about joining. In a time when I haven't been able to come out and join so many of you, their support has once more been invaluable. So a huge thank you to AGDA for their ongoing support with the awards and to their president, Adele Tarnowski, for joining our judging panel. Let's hear from AGDA now.
Hi everyone, my name's Danielle Molyneux. I'm the General Manager here at AGDA, and we at AGDA just want to firstly say how pleased we are to be partnering with Transform on this year's awards. We also wanted to say a big thank you to everyone that took the time to enter. Best of luck to all the finalists, and congratulations and very well done to all the winners. We hope you all have a lovely evening, and we can't wait to see you in 2022.
Now, whether you're watching this in the office or at home with your mug of coffee or even a glass of champagne, let's give a wonderful toast to all of those wonderful judges. You can also shout about your success tonight on your various social media channels. The hashtag you need is #TransformAwards. Right, let's kick off the proceedings and reveal the winners of the awards. We are going to begin with our content categories, and up first, it's best use of a visual property. Utilising a visual component effectively, we have Cuscal and Brand Matters, EQ and Starts with A, Jans with Creatic, and Pomona Distilling Company with DSR Branding. Let's hear from some on the shortlist first. Over to you, Elettra, to announce our first set of winners.
Thank you, Andrew. Bronze is for Cuscal and Brand Matters. It's a double silver for both EQ with Starts with A and Jans with Creatic, meaning the first gold of the night is won by Pomona Distilling Co. and DSR Branding. Pomona Distilling Co. commissioned DSR Branding to build a strong brand identity with a rich heritage and celebratory spirit. One judge said, "A really strong and personality-laden brand, feels warm and authentic, but also easy to merchandise."
Okay, next up, we've got the best use of copy style or tone of voice. It's a competitive category. Shortlisted, we have Active Super and 26 Principles, Baron Energy and DSR Branding, PEXA and 26 Principles, Story Espresso and For the People, Sydney Symphony Orchestra with 26 Principles, and Westpac with Interbrand. Now, PEXA and 26 Principles take home the highly commended. Well done. But Elettra, how's everyone else done?
It's bronze for both Baron Energy with DSR Branding and Westpac with Interbrand. It's double silver for Active Super with 26 Principles and Sydney Symphony Orchestra and 26 Principles. But the gold is going home with Story Espresso and For the People. Well done. Story Espresso, a small Sydney-based coffee shop, turned to For the People to develop a welcoming brand identity. Great example of creating a clear and strategic framework that allows for flexibility in form, format, and delivery, said one judge.
It's time for the Best Brand Experience category. It's a head-to-head between Ernst & Young with Jack Morton and F&L Violi with I2C Architects. Passing over to you, Elettra, who's won what in this category?
Silver goes to F&L Violi and I2C Architects, which means our gold winner tonight is Ernst & Young with Jack Morton. Ernst & Young worked with Jack Morton and the Art Gallery of New South Wales to develop an immersive virtual event for the Archibald Prize. Although people were experiencing virtual fatigue during COVID-19, the digital brand experience gained 71% attendance rate, with 0% drop-off throughout its entirety.
Let's move on to the best use of packaging. Vying for gold, we've got Bondi Organics and Engine Room Design Co., Brill Coffee and DSR Branding, Hamilton Pet Care and Creatic, Kissed Earth with Creatic, and McCann Foods with Brand Opus. Let's hear from some of those first. Now, it's highly commended for Kissed Earth and Creatic. But let's see, who's taking home bronze, silver or gold? Elettra, back to you.
It's double bronze for Bondi Organics with Engine Room Design Co. and McCain Foods and Brand Opus. Silver is won by Hamilton Pet Care and Creatic, but the gold is grabbed by Brill Coffee and DSR Branding. Congratulations. Brill Coffee appointed DSR Branding to create a packaging range that will launch the brand into a highly competitive coffee industry. The practical and cost-effective packaging includes paper labels, which can be self-applied onto premium-looking jars.
Up now, it's best wayfinding or signage. Battling it out, we have ChargeNet with Rebrand and F&L Violi with I2C Architects. Elettra, over to you.
Silver is won by F&L Violi and I2C Architects, meaning gold is awarded to ChargeNet and Rebrand. ChargeNet worked with Rebrand to redesign the signage of its electric vehicle charging network, simplifying the logo whilst retaining brand recognition. A good example that shows that sometimes less is more, one judge said.
It's time to look at the role that typography can play in a brand's journey, with our next category, the best use of typography. The shortlist reads Macquarie Group with Future Brand Australia and Madre Levito with Voice. Aletra, over to you.
It's bronze for Madre Lievito and Voice, and it's gold for Macquarie Group and Future Brand Australia. Macquarie Group and Future Brand developed balanced typography with softer curves and legible wedge serifs, striking the right balance between personality and dependability. Excellent work here. Works very well for different size scale environments, one judge said.
Thank you, Aletra. Now, we are moving on to the best place or nation brand. The shortlist reads like this. Derwent Valley Council and For the People. Parks Australia, Australian Government with The Contenders. And Pomona Distilling Company with DSR Branding. Aletra, tell us the results.
Bronze goes to Parks Australia, Australian Government and The Contenders. Silver is for Pomona Distilling Co. and DSR Branding, but the gold is won by Derwent Valley Council and For the People. For the People were tasked by Derwent Valley Council to build a strong place brand to engage the local community, instill pride in the residents, and drive tourism and investment. One judge praised the brand, loved the softness and warmth coming through.
It's time to turn to our process-driven categories. Up first, it's Best External Stakeholder Relations during a brand development project. Derwent Valley Council and For the People fought off the competition early on and made it to the shortlist alone. But Aletra, please tell us, what colour trophy did they win?
Derwent Valley Council and For the People take home gold. Derwent Valley Council and For the People ensured the local community were involved from start to finish in creating the narrative for its place brand. All aspects of the identity were informed by external stakeholders, resulting in a brand that truly belongs to the proud residents of Derwent Valley.
Time to celebrate the best internal communications during a brand development project. Recognising the importance of effective communications with its internal audience during a brand transformation, we have Aruma with Brand Council and Next Sense with Interbrand. Let's watch some film.
Brand Council has been transforming organisations for 15 years, including brand and purpose strategy for Fire and Rescue New South Wales and brand, name and purpose strategy for Aruma. Brand Council, putting purpose into practice.
Aletra, who's come out on top?
It's silver for Next Sense and Interbrand, meaning it's gold for Aruma and Brand Council. Congratulations. Aruma and Brand Council used internal communications to unify its audience during its merger. They interviewed staff, stakeholders, and customers before presenting a new name to these audiences. Clear manifesto and very transparent communication, one judge said.
The final category in the process section is Best Implementation of a Brand Development Project. Demonstrating excellence here, we have Australian Unity and Principles, Next Sense with Interbrand, and PGH Bricks and Pavers with Nexus Designs. Aletra, who's won what?
Bronze goes to Australian Unity and Principles. Silver is for PGH Bricks and Pavers and Nexus Designs, but the gold is secured by Next Sense and Interbrand. To simplify the Royal Institute for Deaf and Blind Children's complex brand architecture, Interbrand built Next Sense, a single master brand that speaks to the service's breadth and puts people first. A really strong example of a brand implementation in what would have been a very difficult environment, praised one judge.
Time to move on to our strategy categories. And up first, it's Best Creative Strategy. Demonstrating a well thought out aligned strategy behind its brand, we have Costa and Principles, Derwent Valley Council and For the People, Fed Square and Interbrand, Guide Dogs and Future Brand Australia, Horizon Power with Wonderman Thompson, and Sydney Symphony Orchestra with Principles. Now, in this popular category, highly commended has been awarded to Guide Dogs with Future Brand and Horizon Power with Wonderman Thompson. But Aletra, back to you.
It's a bronze for both Costa with Principles and Fed Square with Interbrand. Silver is for Sydney Symphony Orchestra and Principles. But the gold is going home with Derwent Valley Council and For the People. To build a Derwent Valley Council brand, For the People followed an extreme transparency philosophy with an extensive community consultations program with residents, business owners, tourism operators, and youth groups. The strategy captured the essence of the town, said one judge.
Our next category is the Best Brand Evolution, and it's another competitive shortlist. It looks like this. ChargeNet and Rebrand. EQ and starts with A. Fire and Rescue New South Wales and Brand Council. Macquarie Group and FutureBrand Australia. Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Centre with FutureBrand Australia. And Westpac with Interbrand. Let's hear from some of those first.
Brand Council has been transforming organisations for 15 years, including Brand and Purpose Strategy for Fire and Rescue New South Wales and Brand, Name and Purpose Strategy for Aruma. Brand Council, putting purpose into practice.
Now, FutureBrand take home highly commended with Macquarie Group and with Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Centre. Congratulations. But Alletra, can you reveal what the rest of our shortlist are winning?
It's bronze for EQ and starts with A. Silver goes to both ChargeNet with Rebrand and Fire and Rescue NSW with Brand Council, meaning the gold for Best Brand Evolution is won by Westpac and Interbrand. Westpac and Interbrand created an identity that pays homage to heritage yet strives towards the future. One judge commended the brand. Outstanding piece of work. It moved the brand into a brilliant visual space whilst honouring heritage and very strong Westpac brand codes.
Let's move on to Best Strategic or Creative Development of a New Brand. Now, this category is for the company that has adopted a strategic or creative approach when developing its new brand. And the shortlist looks like this. Active Super and Principles, Aruma and Brand Council, McCain Foods and Brand Opus, Monash IVF and The Contenders, Story Espresso with For the People, and Tribal Advisory with Brand Matters. Let's hear from them first.
Brand Council has been transforming organisations for 15 years, including Brand and Purpose Strategy for Fire and Rescue New South Wales and Brand, Name and Purpose Strategy for Aruma. Brand Council, putting purpose into practice.
Now, our judges awarded Monash IVF with The Contenders and Tribal Advisory with Brand Matters highly commended. But Alletra, tell us about the rest of the results.
It's a double bronze for Aruma with Brand Council and McCain Foods with Brand Opus. Silver goes to Active Super and Principles, meaning our gold is awarded to Story Espresso and For the People. Great work. Working with Story Espresso, For the People used a strategy which focused on storytelling, paying homage to the cafe's name while still crafting a flexible brand identity. The brand is everywhere, with great touch points. The craft is simple yet insightful, praised our judges.
Now let's find out our winner for the Best Naming Strategy. The shortlist reads Active Super and 26 Principles, Aruma and Brand Council, Barron Energy and DSR Branding, Costa and 26 Principles, EQ with Starts with A, and Zero Jet with Rebrand. Let's hear from some of them first.
Brand Council has been transforming organisations for 15 years, including Brand and Purpose Strategy for Fire and Rescue New South Wales and Brand, Name and Purpose Strategy for Aruma. Brand Council, putting purpose into practice.
It's highly commended for Active Super with 26 Principles and Zero Jet with Rebrand. But Alletra, what do our other shortlisted companies take?
It's a double bronze for Costa with 26 Principles and EQ with Starts with A. Silver is grabbed by Barron Energy and DSR Branding, and well done to our gold winner, Aruma and Brand Council. Following its merger, Aruma worked with Brand Council to create a name with roots in languages from all over the world. Aruma, or a happy place, is the time between sunset and sunrise, which reflects the dawn of a new era.
Now, it's time to look at different types of rebrands, brand development projects and brand consolidation work. And first up, we're going to look at the best corporate rebrand following a merger or acquisition. And it's a head-to-head between Aruma with Brand Council and the Arnott's Group with the Edison Agency. But first, let's hear from them.
Brand Council has been transforming organisations for 15 years, including brand and purpose strategy for Fire and Rescue New South Wales and brand, name and purpose strategy for Aruma. Brand Council, putting purpose into practice.
Electra, please tell us who's won what.
Silver goes to Aruma and Brand Council, and the gold is grabbed by the Arnott's Group and the Edison Agency. Newly formed Arnott's Group, previously Campbell Arnott's, worked with the Edison Agency to develop a new corporate brand identity. The strategic rebrand removes the Campbell's component from its corporate branding to mark a new chapter into emerging categories and to unite its family of consumer brands.
Okay, let's look at the best brand development project to reflect a change of mission, values or positioning. Now, this award is for the best repositioning of an organisation to reflect a new approach to its business. And shortlisted, we have CMJ Food Services, and starts with A, Fire and Rescue New South Wales and Brand Council, Guide Dogs Australia and Future Brand Australia, Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Centre with Future Brand Australia, and the Arnott's Group with the Edison Agency. Let's hear from some of those first.
Brand Council has been transforming organisations for 15 years, including brand and purpose strategy for Fire and Rescue New South Wales and brand, name and purpose strategy for Aruma. Brand Council, putting purpose into practice.
Now, Guide Dogs and Future Brand winner highly commended in this category, but Electra, tell us about the rest.
It's bronze for CMJ Food Services and starts with A. Silver goes to Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Centre and Future Brand. And it's a double gold for Fire and Rescue NSW with Brand Council and the Arnott's Group and the Edison Agency. Brand Council overhauled Fire and Rescue New South Wales brand identity, both internally and externally, to develop a cohesive brand strategy and purpose, protect the irreplaceable. Arnott's Group and the Edison Agency created a versatile and bold brand identity that united staff behind a shared identity, whilst also strengthening the employer brand to attract new talent.
Next up, we have Best Rebrand of a Digital Property. Fighting it out, we've got Delivery Hound with Creatic and Yerayakin Theatre Company with Bevin Creative. Let's hear from the shortlist. Electra, who wins what?
It's bronze for Yerayakin Theatre Company and Bevin Creative, and silver for Delivery Hound and Creatic.
Okay, we're now going to look to see how companies stand up when measured against their peers. It's the best of sector categories. And the first sector we're going to look at is the best visual identity by a charity, NGO or not-for-profit. It's a popular category and the shortlist reads as follows. Australian Red Cross and Principles. Blind Low Vision New Zealand and Principles. Guide Dogs Australia and Future Brand Australia. Intergeneration Australia and Designate. Koala Life with Principles. And Royal Melbourne Hospital with Principles. It's highly commended for Intergeneration Australia with Designate and Royal Melbourne Hospital with Principles. Electra, please reveal the winners.
Bronze goes to Australian Red Cross and Principle. Silver is for Blind Low Vision NZ and Principle. And it's double gold for both Guide Dogs with Future Brand and Koala Life with Principles. Future Brand was tasked with developing a new and accessible identity for guide dogs that would not only refine the brand's strategic direction, but also respect its rich heritage. Principles helped rebrand the International Koala Centre of Excellence to Koala Life, creating a memorable and optimistic name, vibrant color palette, an eye-catching logo, and honest tone of voice.
Fantastic. Let's move on to the best visual identity from the education sector. Edugrowth and Folk have been shortlisted alone in this category, but Electra, what have they won?
Edugrowth and Folk win silver.
Now, Now, let's find out who's taking gold in Best Visual Identity from the energy and utilities sector. Vying for gold, we have Barron Energy and DSR Branding, ChargeNet with Rebrand, and Horizon Power with Wunderman Thompson. Electra, what have they won?
Bronze is won by Horizon Power and Wunderman Thompson. Silver is for ChargeNet and Rebrand. And it's gold for the brilliant Barron Energy and DSR Branding. With a recognizable cactus icon and hot pink color palette, DSR Branding crafted a memorable and quirky visual identity for Barron Energy. One judge commended the brand for its wonderful cut-through tone of voice that tapped into the differentiators of the company.
Up next, we recognise the best visual identity from the financial services sector. The shortlist reads Active Super and Principals, FPROS Australia and Holzbosch, JB Were and Principals, Macquarie Group with Future Brand Australia, and Palace Capital. JB Were and Principals are awarded highly commended, congratulations. But Electra, tell us the rest of the results.
It's bronze for FPROS Australia and Holzbosch, silver is for Active Super and Principals, and it's double gold for Macquarie Group with Future Brand Australia and Palace Capital. Macquarie Group with Future Brand created fixed tools, including the logo and primary black and white color palette for brand recognition, whilst also developing flexible tools such as secondary colors, grid systems, and language to adapt individual brand assets to specific objectives. Palace Capital retained its logo and wordmark for recognizability whilst bringing new meaning to the emblem of Palace, the female warrior. Giant leaps forward in the brand presentation, praised one judge.
Up now, it's Best Visual Identity from the FMCG sector. Shortlisted in this category is Holzbosch, with their client Coles Supermarkets and Koi, and also with Coles Supermarkets Woofing Good. Electra, which project has come out on top?
It's silver for Coles Supermarket Woofing Good and Holzbosch, meaning the gold is won by Coles Supermarkets Koi and Holzbosch. Koi worked with Holzbosch to develop a strong brand identity, with different colors and shapes to denote its all-natural ingredients and appreciation of nature. An Escape Naturally strapline underpins the free-from harmful ingredient brand ethos, whilst the black on white logo and packaging convey a luxurious personal care experience.
The next category is Best Visual Identity from the food and beverage sector. Going for gold, we have Apollonia and Distill Agency, Bondi Organics and Engine Room Design Co., Brill Coffee with DSR Branding, and Story Espresso with For the People. Electra, over to you.
Bronze is shared between Apollonia with Distill Agency and Bondi Organics with Engine Room Design Co. Silver goes to Brill Coffee and DSR Branding, meaning the gold winner tonight is Story Espresso and For the People. For the People developed a unique, inviting, and strong visual identity for Story Espresso, centered around storytelling. Every item in the cafe, from the takeaway cups to receipts to the ground coffee bean boxes, features a story. An insightful and fresh campaign, one judge said.
Up next, it's the healthcare and pharmaceutical sector. Monash IVF and the contenders made the shortlist alone, but what have they won? Electra, tell us.
Monash IVF and the contenders win silver.
Let's move on to Best Visual Identity from the mining and extractive sector. 29 Metals and Designate also wiped out the competition, but what did their scores add up to? Electra, over to you.
29 Metals and Designate were awarded gold. Designate developed the name 29 Metals to reference the atomic number of copper, therefore immediately communicating the brand's niche. The brand promise, unlocking value to empower the future, references its organic growth pipeline and the role copper plays in a cleaner energy future.
We are now awarding the Best Visual Identity from the professional services sector. On the shortlist, we have AJ Park with Folk and IPH with Folk. A battle of the clients. Electra, over to you.
Silver is for AJ Park and Folk, meaning gold is won by IPH and Folk. IPH worked with Folk to refresh its brand identity, aiming to redefine its direction and role in the market. Folk developed the brand idea network effect, which represents the way in which the different firms within IPH remain independent yet are connected in new ways.
It's now time for the best visual identity from the property construction and facilities management sector. It's a head-to-head between Theola's clients, Hirsch and Fagan, and JGL Properties. Elettra, who's taken the top spot?
It's bronze for JGL Properties and Theola, and it's silver for Hirsch and Fagan and Theola.
Now, let's move on to the best visual identity from the public sector. Will New South Wales EPA and Principals win gold? Elettra, back to you.
NSW, EPA, and Principals win gold. Working with NSW, EPA senior leaders, Principals developed a new brand idea, naturally influential, to show a confident stance. Straplines like encouraging an environment of care and delivering an environment of trust, paired with a journalistic photography style, clearly convey the brand's authority and expertise.
Our next category is Best Visual Identity from the sports, travel, leisure and tourism sector. Hoping to win gold, we have Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Centre and Future Brand Australia, Olay Football Academy and Rebrand, Parks Australia, Australian Government with the Contenders, and Sydney Symphony Orchestra with Principals. Now, it's highly commended for Parks Australia, Australian Government and the Contenders, but Elettra, please reveal the rest of our winners.
Bronze is for Olay Football Academy and Rebrand. Silver goes to Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Centre and Future Brand, but the gold is won by Sydney Symphony Orchestra and Principals. Sydney Symphony Orchestra worked with Principals to create a new visual identity that would support SSO's mission to communicate with younger and new audiences who haven't been introduced to classical music. One judge praised the brand, amazing, progressive, and unexpected.
We now have Best Visual Identity from the technology, media and telecommunications sector. Shortlisted is Jans and Creatic. Let's watch their video. Elettra, what are they going to win?
Jans and Creatic win gold. Creatic developed a visual identity for Jans that pays homage to the brand heritage, conveys the core brand principles of value, security, and performance, and communicates the brand promise. The simple yet powerful logo emulates musical notes and a microphone stamp and informs the rest of the visual identity.
It's now time for our final 2 awards. First up, the 2021 Best Overall Visual Identity, and then the prestigious Grand Prix Award for the Transform Awards ANZ 2021. Now, anyone shortlisted is in the running to take home either of these coveted awards. The winners will also be invited back next year to judge the 2022 awards programme. Okay, let's find out this year's Best Overall Visual Identity winner. Elettra, over to you.
The winner of the Best Overall Visual Identity Award developed a vibrant and engaging visual identity and brand experience that made newcomers become loyal customers. It has no rigid brand guidelines, just an expression that suits the identity as a whole and allows for evolution over time. Our judges praised its fresh and creative approach. I am delighted to announce that the 2021 Best Overall Visual Identity Award goes to Story Espresso and For the People.
A huge congratulations. Now it's time for the final award of the evening, the Grand Prix for the best rebrand, brand transformation or brand journey this year. Again, we have no shortlist, so it's over to Elettra to announce the winning agency and client.
Tonight's Grand Prix winner created a 360 brand development project, setting the standards for other brands and inspiring meaningful work. Every aspect of the identity, engagement, strategy, and execution was taken into consideration. The agency listened to local residents, who then became the protagonists of the powerful place brand. The judges' praise piled up for our winner. Poetic, so damn good, significant results, exceptional, and place branding at its best. The 2021 sought-after Grand Prix Award is awarded to Derwent Valley Council, and for the people, many congratulations.
And with that final award given, we draw to a close the 2021 Transform Awards ANZ. Congratulations to all of our winners, and thank you for watching. If you want to find out more about the award-winning projects and campaigns, the Winners Book is available from the Transform Awards ANZ webpage on transformmagazine.net. We hope you have a fantastic evening celebrating your success, and we look forward to seeing you in person next year for the 2022 Transform Awards ANZ. Please remember to hashtag Transform Awards in all of your posts online. We'd love to see them. Thank you again for watching, and more importantly, congratulations to all of our winners tonight from all of us at Transform Magazine. I hope to see you next year. Good night.